This is the scene at the occupied complex in Grangegorman this morning. The complex was the target of a violent eviction attempt on Monday when up to 40 bailiffs, security and Garda invaded the complex at 6:30 a.m, assaulted the residents and attempted to physically remove them without actually having the paperwork for an eviction. This morning, the same people have gone to court. They're seeking an injunction that would require the residents to immediately leave their homes, effectively making something like 30 people homeless on the streets with immediate effect. As you can see from our footage here, they've set up an information stall at the entrance to one of the gates of the complex at Grangegorman. If you're in the area, stop by and say hello, and they'll happily explain to you just what's going on. The complex at Grangegorman was being assembled by a land speculator in advance of the crash, and in fact the same is true of a lot of the other houses in the area. This is a bit up the street and it's a whole row of houses that have now been boarded up for years, presumably also being bought up by some other speculator planning to turn a profit when the student campus up the road finally opens. In a lot of ways, what's happened at Grangegorman is a micro-story of what happened to Ireland during the crisis. The Grangegorman site itself was valued at something like 100 million before the crash. That's more money than any of us could earn in working full stop for 10,000 years, and sort of gives a good illustration of the class interests at heart here and the really different interests between people who need housing and those who own the land. This is inside the complex this morning. We're looking at what used to be a community garden that the residents have built. One of the things the bailiffs did first was they destroyed those gardens, and that's a real shame. You can also see the fencing that they've put up around the warehouse, restricting people's access. If you are in the area, do call down to them and say hi. They have that table at the gate on Brunswick Street, and I think any sort of gesture of solidarity like that will be very much appreciated. Quite a few people were stopping by this morning, and it was good to have a chat and explain the situation. That's it for this morning's report from Solidarity News. Follow us on Facebook to get future reports from the scene.